Today we're here to talk about the 10 things to declutter from your kitchen. But there will be no chipped plates, no expired food to be seen here. As always, we're thinking outside of the box. So sit back, and how many of the 10 things have you got in your kitchen?
You're listening to the Declutter Hub podcast, bringing you tried and tested, no-nonsense tips and advice from the leading experts in decluttering and organising your home. Now here are your hosts, Ingrid Jansen and Leslie Spellman.
Hello and welcome, listeners. I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Leslie.
If you're new to the Declutter Hub podcast, you're so welcome. What you'll find is that we try and find a fun factor in the serious business of decluttering. And if you've been here for a while, you know exactly what we mean. So thank you so much for listening.
If you'd like to get involved in conversations relating to this podcast, it all takes place in our Facebook group. So come and join our lovely, warm, supportive community. To find the Facebook group, go to declutterhub.com/group to find out more, or you can search for the Declutter Hub community on Facebook. So Ingrid, we're back to talk about a review that we got in this week from the lovely Rebecca 93415. Now we do know Rebecca. We met Rebecca in Newcastle yesterday. Ingrid's looking at me like, do we?
Yeah.
You remember Rebecca that was sat on the table with us when we went to the Ian Anderson Gray session?
Yes.
Yeah, so Rebecca is from not round the corner. She's from Lancashire as well, so she's not very far away, 30 miles away. And I thought, I know that Rebecca when I saw that picture attached to her review. So Rebecca's been in touch with the review. Ingrid, would you like to read it out?
Yes, Leslie. Rebecca says, absolutely love Ingrid and Leslie and the podcast. It's like having them round the kitchen table, nattering over a brew. That's a cup of tea for those of you who've got no idea what a brew is. No mock trees inside here, and setting the world of decluttering to rights. Oh, what a lovely review.
I know. How nice is that? We have to read them out just to show ourselves some love, don't we, Ingrid? To remind ourselves that someone loves what we talk about.
I know. Nearly 250 podcasts down the road. It's great to kind of read these out, I must admit.
And I definitely think that the nattering over a brew, I love that. It's very Lancashire. It's very Lancashire phrase, that. Well, northern, let's say. But yeah, no, that's so nice. And that's nice that Rebecca thinks that it's like nattering over a brew. I like that idea, concept, because that's what we're trying to, it's not that we're trying to create, it's what we do, like, without even thinking. So thank you so much, Rebecca. Thank you so much for listening and for sharing the podcast love. And if ever anybody else wants to do that, we'd love to hear more Ingrid and Leslie love, wouldn't we? Of course. What's not to like about that, Ingrid?
Exactly. Leave us a review on any podcast player or leave a comment in the episodes. If you go to declutterhub.com/246, because this is podcast 246, then you can leave a comment. But yeah, go to your podcast player to leave a review, because then other people will also know that you love listening to this podcast and maybe listening too. That would be great. We need to put more decluttering worlds to rights, Leslie, because there's so much nonsense out there.
Yes, absolutely. So today, we have to start off, so Rebecca says that it's like nattering over brew, and it absolutely is, right? So basically, the way that it works when we're kind of starting a podcast, Ingrid does all the kind of things and she sets up the document. We don't have a script, but we have notes, right? What we're going to talk about. And so Ingrid does all that stuff because I get bored with that stuff very easily. So I'm in my head thinking about what are the 10 things we can declutter from the kitchen. And so I'm like, okay, I've got my list. So Ingrid's like, right, what's your list? And she writes them down and she's like, where do you think of these things from? And she's like, and I'm like, well, we could do boring things like chipped plates and expired food and all that, but then there's nothing to learn in that, is there? Because everybody knows those things. And Ingrid goes, well, I thought of those things. So I'm like, that's what I bring. And I bring the craziness and Ingrid brings the sensible stuff. So hopefully together it works.
Yeah, exactly. Because the first thing I thought, 10 things to declutter from your kitchen. Well, we're probably going to talk about food that's expired or a bread maker that's lurking in a cupboard somewhere. And then I'm like, right, great, let's see, I'm here ready to write down the things you've thought about. and these craziest things come out, and I'm like, do you actually come up with this stuff? So yeah.
Then I said to you, do you agree? And what did you say?
I did.
Are these things that you need to declutter from your kitchen or not?
Absolutely. So why don't we get started with number one? Because we love a 10 Things podcast, but they always take forever. So I think we need to get cracking, Leslie.
We do. So first things first, I really want your windowsills to be shown a little bit of love. And so my number one is things off the windowsill, right? And so we need a kind of curated, we talked about this a few podcasts ago, didn't we? We need a curated windowsill. And what windowsills typically are, and I'm talking about a scenario where your sink is in front of your windowsill and you've got a nice view onto your garden or whatever that might be. And we sort of clutter up quite often our windowsills with kind of seedlings from plants and maybe a bit of washing up liquid, a bit of brushes, little tops of bottle tops that we're recycling, maybe a dishcloth or two. Ingrid, anything else?
You name it, I've seen it. Coins from pockets that before they've been thrown in the washing machine, brushes for painting from the kids that were not dried out yet, stamps that were bought and have been put in a safe place in the windowsill. I mean, the most random things ever, but it looks so messy.
Yes, you're so right. So we're not telling you what it is to declutter from your windowsill. We're just saying, have a look, because it's that kind of thing that makes you become clutter blind, right? So you don't see these things on the windowsill all the time. And honestly, having a clear windowsill makes all the difference, because when you're looking out onto your garden, you want to look out onto your garden, not see the things that lurk beneath on your windowsill. So I think it's very important to do that, isn't it, Ingrid?
Yeah, I love it. I completely agree. So Leslie, let's go to number two then, because you had another brainwave, didn't you?
Are you just not saying any of these yourself? Are you just leaving me to say everything?
Well, I can do a couple.
Oh, nice. Right. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about was plastic straws. Now, straws hang around, right? And the reason why I said plastic straws is because quite often if we've got kids, it's quite cute, isn't it, sometimes to give them a straw. It makes a drink feel a bit more special sometimes, doesn't it? We don't really need a straw, but we kind of have a straw. And then when we go to IKEA or we go to Target or we go to somewhere, there's like these 100 straws in a box. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, oh, that'd be really cool. I like straws. I'm going to give the kids some straws. And they just stay there, don't they? Kind of unused in many, many houses. Not in all houses. If you're a straw person, fair play. One of the things that's happened recently is that everybody's become more environmentally friendly, because plastic straws are a nightmare from an environmental perspective.
Yeah.
And so people feel bad about having plastic straws, have found paper straws, changed over, but kept the plastic straws.
Yeah. Or like me, have bought metal straws.
Ah, yes, of course, metal straws.
But then I think I decluttered them. And now I think I need to check this, Leslie, after this podcast. I need to go to my drawer in my kitchen. But I think all the plastic ones, we either finished them up or we gave them away. But I don't think they're longer here. But yeah.
And how do you get on with your metal straws? Because I think it's a bit weird against your teeth.
Well, the kids use them. I don't use straws at all. I always, forever, when if I'm going out or going somewhere, I'm like, do not give me a straw. I just don't like it. I don't like having a straw in my drink.
Do you know where straws come into their own a little bit more? So when you go to, and we apologise because there are other countries in the world, but Ingrid and I have a lot of experience of America. So there are other places in the world that we could talk about. But in America, they give you, because it's so hot all the time there, they give you, well, not all the time, clearly not in Alaska and stuff. It's not hot all the time in Alaska, but there are many places where it's hot. So there's a lot of ice that comes with the soda drinks over there. So you get like a full glass of ice. And we kind of have that a little bit here, but not quite as much. And I think the straws work well with that kind of scenario, because you don't want the ice banging into your face all the time when you drink from your cup. So I think that's where straws come in when you've got a fully iced drink. That's where they come from, and that's when they're useful. But we don't typically do that at home, do we? No. Like, I don't put ice in my drink at home, do you?
No. It's interesting because indeed, when I was traveling in the US, they put ice, like they stack it in, and I'm like, I just want something to drink. I don't want all this ice. But because you get refills and things, it's just different. Here you get one or two cubes if you're lucky.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so dig out those plastic straws that will be lurking in your kitchen and pass them on. You can just donate them to a charity shop. Somebody will be happy for your plastic straws. Yes, so a bit of an environmental one.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Let's go to number 3, which is old dishcloths with holes. So you're trying to dry stuff off from your hand washing, or if, sometimes the stuff comes out of the dishwasher a little bit damp, or it has little residues of water, and you want to shake the water off, but you sometimes need a little bit of a dishcloth to dry some stuff, right?
Right, I'm going to have to stop you, Ingrid. I'm going to have to stop you. Sorry. I'm not sure you're completely au fait with what a dishcloth is.
Oh. It's not like a tea towel. It's not what you mean.
No, a tea towel's a tea towel. A dishcloth's a dishcloth.
Oh, you mean like where you wipe the sides with?
Yes.
Same idea. If they've got holes, what's the point?
Same idea.
I know.
At all. A dishcloth is to wash things, and a tea towel is to wipe things.
Yeah, but I've never understood people using a dishcloth to wash things. That's weird. You've got washing up brushes, right? Why would you use a cloth to wash up stuff? I find that really strange. Maybe it's an English thing. I don't know.
I think it might be an English thing, because I don't anymore. I use a brush now, to be fair. But I use a dishcloth to wipe around that needs to be wet. But there's still a real difference here. One is wet, one is dry.
Okay, well, fine. But whatever it is, a tea towel or a dishcloth, if they've got holes...
I agree.
There's no point. I mean, how can you wipe something or dry something when it's got holes? It looks so sad. It looks so sad.
It does.
Yeah.
I think that, now that the one thing that I would say is microfiber dishcloths, Ingrid. Okay.
Yes. I've got one of those.
Well done. They typically don't get holes in them.
Yeah.
They're quite robust, aren't they? Because of the mechanics of microfiber means that they don't get holes in them. But those other ones, so quite often if you buy normal kind of old school dishcloths here, they're kind of like a mesh fabric, aren't they?
Yeah.
With like almost kind of with holes in them already.
Do you mean those blue with white ones, the kind of very thin ones?
Oh, that's what you mean? No, they're called blue. What are they called? J cloths? So they're called J cloths?
I don't know, but I see them in people's houses. I don't understand those.
I don't understand those.
How can you use something so flimsy to
I agree.
wipe your sides?
Yeah,
anyway.
maybe you have to put. No, you're right. I don't love a J cloth, but people do. Who is? You and I can't say to other people that they can't use a J cloth to wipe the sides because it might work really well, and we would rather a side be wiped by a J cloth, a dishcloth, or in fact a tea towel if you're Ingrid Johnson.
Then not at all. Agreed.
Yeah, but I think that definitely the J cloths that you're talking about, those really flimsy kind of things, they will definitely rip, but they're more tear than holes.
Yeah.
And then you've got the kind of mesh dishcloths that get holes in them really easily once they go into the washing machine and stuff. And microfiber cloth is the way forward, I think.
Yeah, I like them. I use them a lot everywhere.
But what happens, of course, Ingrid, is that people buy the microfiber cloths, but keep the old cloths.
Yeah. Declutter it. Let it go. Anything with holes, whether it's tights, tea towels, dishcloths.
Oh, there must be something with holes that's useful.
No, t-shirts with holes?
Nothing with
holes.
Well,
maybe like a jean or like a jean jacket with a hole. That's like cool, isn't it? That's not like raw. Anyway, I'm going to go on to number 4. Declutter some too many bins. Leslie, you had me on this one. I'm like, too many bins?
Yeah, she writes it down. She approves the list. And then she hasn't got the slightest, foggiest clue what it is that my head is
help me here. Too many bins.
Right, okay. So imagine the scenario, right? So you're not on top of recycling and rubbish that much.
Mm-hmm.
Quite often then, people will have multiple bins, right?
Yeah.
This might have come from a place where you've got one for rubbish, one for recycling, or it might be, I need something bigger. And so I think it's a kind of chicken scenario. People buy more bins because they want to keep more stuff in the bins before they take it out to recycle or to throw away. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen many times too many bins in a house taking over a kitchen. So I think, you know, it's not that you don't need that bin space particularly, but you really need to think about the configuration of your bin to see if you can't get something neater that is going to do all of the things for you, but that is not going to clutter up your kitchen. So that's what I mean when I say too many bins.
Right. I was like, maybe people have like 12 bins in their kitchen or something.
Some people, well, maybe not 12, but some people have a lot of bins. And I think, you know, I can't remember what it was that we were talking about one time, and it was a real light bulb for someone. We talked about taking your bins out every day, didn't we? And talk about getting your kids to take the bins out after dinner every day or something. And it was a massive revelation to someone, like, well, I've never taken my bins out every day, but maybe that's what I should do because I've got this buildup of rubbish and recycling inside.
Yeah.
That maybe I need to take the bins out every day. And for people that are not used to the terminology bins, we mean trash cans, right? And so, you know, but so just think about that. What, you know, is it that you need to take your rubbish or garbage out more frequently, or is it that you need additional bin space? Because you can still, it involves more work, of course, going out every day to take the bins out, but the plus side is that it's making your kitchen a little bit neater.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a job. It's not a great job to do. I think that's why a lot of people leave it. But in the end, it's better to stay on top of it because it's just so less messy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's definitely one to delegate, like 100% delegate. You delegate it, I delegate it. Very rarely put the bins out. Honestly, at one bin in 20, I'm taking out kids all the way. And it's easy for them.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy job. You don't need to explain it. There's not much precision required with emptying a bin into another bin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas wiping round or sweeping the floor or putting the dishwasher away or whatever, or stacking things, that involves some kind of, you know, precision, whereas emptying a bin doesn't. So I think it's the perfect job for a child.
Yeah, agreed. Well, let's do one more then, because we've done 4 only of the 10. So I think we should do one more. And number 5 is shot glasses.
Yes.
Yes.
She's not saying anything again. So she's I've got to convince her of the 10 things as well. Sometimes I do wonder which houses we're decluttering, because I'm like, this is like standard stuff. So, you know, she's seeing expired food. I'm seeing like, why have you got 30 shot glasses? Like, what's wrong?
I've got a couple, but
yes,
I mean,
a couple is good. You've got to think how many times you're doing shots, but we keep them, you know, and sometimes if you do shots, you're either a shot doing person or you're not.
Yeah.
And you can also do shots not in a shot glass, although it's not as much fun. It's better to do a kind of banging on the table doing a shot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you agree? But I think shot glasses is one of those things that when people are younger, they gather on holiday. So it's a perfect souvenir for a lot of people, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So people do love a shot glass from somebody as a memory. And then what happens is these shot glasses kind of start to kind of increase to a point where we've got 10 shot glasses. And the chances of you doing shots with 10 people is slim. I don't know, because I don't know how many people are doing shots. I might be wrong. Mm-hmm. But in general, look at the amount of shot glasses, because in my experience, there's often too many for your needs.
Yeah. I think we can even widen this a little bit. I think it's probably not only shot glasses. It's also kind of drinks we used to drink in glasses. Like, I remember my mom drinking sherry, you know, way back when I was a teenager. But now she's like, don't drink that anymore. But we've got all these glasses, right, of stuff that we used to drink. So have a little rummage through. But shot glasses is a good place to start.
Yeah. So, have we ever done shots?
I don't think we've ever done shots.
Oh, that would be very dangerous. If we started doing shots, that would be very dangerous, wouldn't it?
I think we have to go for a break. Let's go for a break. I don't think I want to go there. Right. Well, we are back in our 10 things to declutter from your kitchen, and we've had quite an interesting number 1 to number 5, ending up on shot glasses and thinking that we've not done shots. And I think we should keep it that way, Leslie. It's probably safer for everybody, for ourselves and for everybody around us. So let's go on to number 6. You've thought of another very interesting one, haven't you?
Yes, Tombola or raffle prizes. Now, let's think about the way that Tombola and raffle prizes goes. So if you're anything like me, and I know there are some very, very kind, thoughtful people out there, your child then goes, I need a raffle prize, and you go, okay, for a tombola or whatever, it might be a drinks one, it might be, you know, a chocolate one, it might be something. You're probably going to choose the things that you actually want to declutter to send to a tombola or a raffle, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So perhaps the quality of that item might not be amazing, or perhaps it might be something that's been hanging around for a while. It might be towards the cheaper end of wine. So I'm just thinking you're not going to give away your most prized chocolate or wine. You're going to give something that is a little bit more substandard. Would you agree? Is that really horrible to say that that's what you do for tombolas and raffles, or is that normal?
Oh, well, I think that's normal. I think let's be honest here. Let's not go. Oh no, you know, we all kind of go. Okay, oh well, there's a tombola here. Grab this. You know, we're not going to put great thought into the thing. But interestingly enough, you think about stuff to donate. I actually thought about the things you win at tombolas.
That's what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about that's the beginning part of a tombola. I've not even got to the crux of the story. So that's what we're donating to a tombola. But then we go to the school fair or whatever and we win it.
Yeah.
So we're winning substandard.
Somebody else's
clutter, basically, back. Yeah. It might not be food or drink, but it's going to be something that somebody doesn't want, probably. Unless it's a very kind, thoughtful person. And there are those people out there who would try and give nice gifts. But in general, you're kind of scrambling around at the last minute and you're just going to grab something, and you're not going to grab something that you want to drink that night or that you want to put on your face, are you? You're going to grab something that's been hanging around a while. So tombola and raffle prizes, you feel obliged to bring them back. You put them into your cupboard and they sit there because they're never quite what you really are going to reach for.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Eddie, you didn't let me finish my story.
I know, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead there. But yeah, I think you're right. Let's throw some realism in this, please. You know, just let's declutter it. You can put it on oleo, you can give it away, but it hanging around your kitchen is not going to make you eat, drink, or use it. So let it go.
So what you do, Ingrid, is you send it to a tombola or a raffle prize. You do the next one because it's not left field. This is one that you came up with.
Exactly. The next one is declutter the front of your fridge. Or if you've got a notice board, have a look at all the stuff you've got pinned on there and all the magnets that are on the outside of your fridge door. What stuff is on there? Are there's old receipts, invites for parties that you've been to in way back when? Is it a form that should have been filled in ages ago that you forgot about? What is on the front of your fridge or on your notice board? All these loose, random bits of paper that you thought were important at one point. You need to go through that on a regular basis. So maybe this podcast is going to jump you into action and go, oh yeah, it's been a while. And people have lots of stuff on their fridges and their notice boards.
They do indeed. Love that one. And honestly, a nicely tended to notice board or fridge front is way more appealing and nice to look at than a cluttered one. That's for sure. Makes a big difference to the way that your kitchen looks, doesn't it, aesthetically?
Same as well, Leslie, in an extension of that, the magnets themselves. Can you please have a look at them as well while you're at it? I mean, if they've been on your fridge for like 20 years, sometimes they don't look great anymore.
Now I think you're very much going into dangerous territory here, Johnson. Very, very dangerous territory. People who love the fridge magnets, they're like sentimental pieces.
I know.
And you're telling people they've got to declutter them.
I know.
That wouldn't come out of my mouth.
I'm going rogue on this one, Leslie. That's for sure.
Fridge magnets was not on the list.
But I know that. But it's like sometimes things have been on there for such a long time. They're falling apart. They're completely lost their color, or they've still little bits broken off. It just doesn't look great.
Agreed.
I'm sorry.
I agree. I know. Don't be sorry. I kind of agree, but I'm saying you're going to get a lot of fridge magnets, you know. Don't know what the word is, you know. Kick back from the fridge magnet people. That's what I'm going to say. I can guarantee in our comments on YouTube and everything there'll be somebody who says they love fridge magnets, and I'm going to leave you to reply to them.
That's okay. Let me know if you've had an honest look to your fridge magnets and kind of Ingrid, no, I'm not going there, or You're actually right. I had not considered this. So let's then quickly move on to the next one, Leslie.
Yes. So we talk a lot about junk drawers, and we talk about the fact that they are a drawer of organized things. That's what we like to call a junk drawer. So we think a junk drawer definitely has a place in a kitchen for sure, because we all need things close at hand. We just don't need too many of them. And it needs to be something that we know what's in there, and it's only a certain number of things. And one of the things that many people have in their junk drawers are things that are waiting to go somewhere else, like recycling. And so I'm talking about things in particular like bulbs and batteries. So we have to dispose of these things in a environmentally friendly, I'm trying to think of the word, environmentally friendly way. So we kind of have to wait, don't we, Ingrid? So we have to wait till we go to the supermarket or wait till we go to the tip. And we kind of often in a junk drawer, we have them a gathering place in there.
Yeah.
And so every now and again, make sure that you make a conscious decision to pass these on to wherever they need to be recycled in.
I think it always feels really good. It's a small job, but when you're like, okay, I've put my batteries in a battery recycling container, that feels like a good thing to do, right? I think it's like, yeah, give yourself a pat on the back. You've done a good thing for the environment. Because, I mean, batteries are bad for the environment, but we just need them sometimes for things. But at least to making sure they're being recycled in the right place, that feels like a good thing. So yeah, let this job not be overlooked in your kitchen. Same goes indeed for light bulbs, Leslie. You can bring them to the recycling center. They've got a special container for bulbs. At least here in the UK they have. So yeah.
Definitely. Nice one. Nice one. What's our number 9, Ingrid?
Number 9 is chopsticks. We find them in lots of kitchen drawers. Sometimes only a couple, sometimes loads. But do you actually use them when you're at home? Or is it kind of more of a fun thing for when you go out for a meal? Or have you maybe picked them up or been given when you bought a takeaway? What's this whole chopstick business?
I mean, of course, there are going to be lots of people who use chopsticks every single day. If you've got Asian heritage and you've grown up using chopsticks, then of course don't throw your chopsticks away. That would be that would be useful because you use them every day. But I think, as Ingrid says, in those instances where you have got them, I don't know where do chopsticks even come in? I don't even know how they kind of come into your house, but we see loads of chopsticks because you don't get them with a takeaway. Mm-hmm. You have to consciously buy them. I think often they might come when you buy little bowls, like nice little soup bowls and stuff for like, like those really beautiful Asian bowls that you might have soup in or you might have noodles in. I think sometimes they come in sets for that kind of thing. But there are people in life who can use chopsticks and there are people in life who can't. So you with me? People in life who really feel like they should be able to use chopsticks, but it's tricky. So some people always choose a knife and fork to eat if that's what you've grown up with. And so, but what we're saying is evaluate what you're doing with those things. The problem is with chopsticks is that they're little and they can kind of scoot down the side. They're not really taking up much space. So do we actually need them? So really think about things like that. And it's not just chopsticks, it's those kind of things. Also, what do you call those things? So those things that you put kebabs on, those skewers, like skewers. People keep wooden skewers, metal skewers. Think about your kebab kind of what you do with kebabs.
Yeah, how you prepare it, how you prepare the food.
How you prepare the food. Do you use wooden? Do you use metal? Do you actually buy kebabs from a supermarket ready-made? Would you ever make kebabs yourself? Think about all those kind of things, because these are the kind of things that are very narrow, very thin, and you just scoot them into a utensil drawer, thinking that they're not really causing any problems, so why would I get rid of them? But really dig deep and evaluate whether things like chopsticks, things like, what did I just say they were called? I can't remember. Skewers. Are useful to you.
Yes, I like it. I use all of them, Leslie.
Do you? Can you eat with chopsticks?
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
Me too.
So we have a certain meal that my husband makes a really nice rice dish with chicken, and we use chopsticks when we eat that. So yeah, I can eat them, but I could not do that on a daily basis. I think that would not be something that I would do.
I mean, Western food doesn't really lend itself to chopsticks, does it? Because it needs to be sort of chopped up and stuff like that. And that's tricky. I always find that quite tricky. But I've been to Asia a feu times and, I say you can use chopsticks, honestly, compared to people who've grown up with that. I mean, it's not even in the same league. I'm kind of, you know what I mean? Like a bit of a pathetic chopstick user, to be fair. I can get through a meal with a chopstick.
Yeah.
Or two, ideally two.
Yeah,
two is
ideally
good.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, think about that.
Nice one. Nice one. Well, let's go on to number 10 then on our 10 things to declutter from your kitchen. And that is placemats that are past their best. Wow. I find these a lot, Leslie. This is actually an excellent number 10 because there are placemat people and they're not placemat people. There's no hardly any in between. But the placemat people normally have multiple sets. Sometimes a set actually lives and stays on the table when they've got, which is falling apart. It's a perfectly new set that they've got 3-4 Christmases ago that's still been unused. And it's like, oh, it can make a kitchen the table look a bit sad if there are all these old placemats hanging about, but there's a beautiful new set still not unused.
I think you're being a bit disparaging about the placemat people in the way that you're describing them.
Oh.
I'm joking. Like, there's the placemat people. No, but so are you a placemat person?
No.
Never?
No. I do use a tablecloth. Like when I've got people over for a meal or something, then I use a tablecloth, but hardly ever. And I don't even know I've got placemats actually.
I think it very much depends on the surface of your table. So we've got like what would it call? It's like a melamine, like a plastic. I mean, it sounds awful. Plastic table. That's effectively what it is. Like a white gloss table. So that kind of really needs a placemat on it because if you put hot things on it, I don't think it would go through it. I think it's quite durable, but we do use a placemat. But then you've got to be quite on top of placemats as well because you've got to kind of wipe them down. They get very messy, don't they? And I think a lot of people, you clear the table down, but you don't get if your table, for example, is not next to where you wipe round, people don't always wipe placemats over and they get a bit messy and stuff, don't they? So definitely I'm with you, Ingrid, on the placemat love. I think that we see a lot of tatty placemats that are definitely past their best because they get a lot of use. If you are a placemat person, as Ingrid likes to call them, then you definitely use them repeatedly, and there's hot things and there's spills and there's they take a lot of abuse, maybe, or abuse.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like you can wipe them quite easily, but sometimes they're fabric and there's lots of stains in them because they've been used and used and used, which is great because it's great to get use out of things. But when it starts to look a bit sad and a bit tired and a bit too messy, then it can bring the vibe that you wanted to bring to your kitchen or your dinner. It can really bring it down. So have a look at those things and see if you can maybe have a nice new set that you've been saving for best. Just at some point, you can overuse stuff, and it's.
So are you a coaster person?
No.
So you don't like a placemat or a coaster?
No.
But you've got wooden tables.
Yeah.
So do you just put your glass down on a wooden table?
Yeah.
You're not bothered about things going onto your wood and staining your wood?
No.
Next time I come to your house, I'm gonna be examining your wood to see whether it's got rings from your wine glass in it.
My tables are not so fancy, so I'm not so bothered about it. And when I do want it fancy, I put a tablecloth on it.
No, I mean like your side table when you sit down at night and have a cup of tea.
I've got some sort of tray, and it's fine.
All right. You're a tray person.
Yes, I've got like a wooden tray, like a big wooden, because I've got it's like this huge footstool, which is ideal, but not when you want to. So I've got a big tray that you can easily wipe, and actually that needs replacing.
Yes.
I've been looking for one. I haven't found one yet. I bought this one many, many years ago at a lovely shop in the Netherlands, where I can't remember where it was because it's been that long ago. But I should get a new one. But anyway, that's the whole other story. But yeah.
So which one of the 10 have you got? Or how many of the 10?
Let me have a look. No plastic straws, possibly. I have to check. No holes, no bins. Shot glasses, only a few, and I want to keep them. Tombola raffle prizes are given away to other tombolas. I've got nothing on my fridge. I've got a separate space for light bulbs and batteries, so that does need emptying. And I'm going to the the recycling center soon, so that's a good one. I have Chopsticks and another place. I'm doing good.
Good. I should hope so, seeing as you're the one that's curating this list, Ingrid Jansen, right, or not, as the case may be. So, right, okay. So that's us. That's 10 things, 10 left field things. I think that was quite left field.
Yeah.
Kitchen was a bit more difficult to be left field, I think.
Yeah.
But hopefully we've given you a good list of things. Let us know how many on that have you got on that list. I've got, let me see, I've got the batteries and bulbs. And I feel like my placemats might do some love. They're not really bad. I might treat myself to some new placemats.
Yeah.
Decision made. That's what I'm going to do this weekend.
Okay. Well, nice work. I can't wait. So, share with us which of the 10 things resonate with you, or which ones you're like, yeah, I've got that. I would love to know. Let us know in declutterhub.com/246 and leave us a comment. We love reading your comments. And again, don't forget to leave us a review on the podcast. So that's it for us for this week. And we will see you next week. So thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much for listening to the Declutter Hub podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us in your podcast player so you don't miss an episode, and we'll see you next week.